Welcome in, everybody. We get started here for the weekend worth of Dota, and it is going to be three series today as we get into the action. Starting off, it's going to be Team Spirit versus Navi. Team Spirit, I think, sitting top of the table here, uncontested. No, Hellraiser's top of the table, 4-0, but Team Spirit looking to make it 4-0 and equaling that today. Hurry coming up against Navi. Navi haven't had the best of times here. Team Spirit looking incredibly strong. So, any thoughts coming into this first series?
Overall, Navi have been, I'd even say, okayish. They are coming from from Division 2. They did do okay in some games, but overall, they have been looking weaker than the rest of the pack. They did beat Darkside. That was their first series, but Darkside has really been looking rough. Other than that, Navi, they haven't had the best performance, but I don't even know if I want to put it that way because these are all, up and coming players without a lot of Division 1 experience. Shigetsu, he has been the top carry of Division 2 for a very long time. You need time to adjust. So I think they should relatively be happy with their performance, possibly looking to stay in Division 1. But if that's not possible, get the most out of it. And then in the coming seasons, it's going to be much easier for them to enter and stay in Division 1. Overall, though, yeah, Team Spirit are the definite favorites. I think there's no doubt about that here.
Yeah, we know, like you say, Shigetsu, he's looked really good in Division 2. He does have quality about him. The rest of the team as well. And again, we've got to, he did come through some changes, getting from Division 2 into Division 1. So if they do stick together in that Division 2, give them time to gel, stick together a little bit. There's no reason they can't jump straight back up. But obviously that would be tour 3. It would be the end of the season, so they'd be coming back up fresh for the next tour, or the next season, excuse me, of the DPC. But getting into this one, Navi, there are some heroes we can look for against Shigetsu. He does like his off-meta heroes, a Weaver, one of the biggest ones. Do you think Team Spirit, knowing about this, do you think they look to ban that one out coming into this game, or do you let it through, Team Spirit? Do you think they have a way to play around it, or are they strong enough just to stick to their own draft and contest it anyway?
Considering that it is Team Spirit we're talking about, they've already shown that every single hero or no hero is off limits for them to play against, right? They banned out the Brood now, but they let the Brood go and they picked up an anti-mage versus it. They have their approach to dealing with most of the heroes, and they just draft accordingly. What we even found out in the true side, that Team Spirit is one of the teams that usually puts a lot of emphasis on the first 2 bans and first 2 picks. That is kind of the opening of their draft. That is where they think the most. So they usually let go even some of the top heroes of the enemies, just so that they can test out their response, or if they maybe not test out, maybe they already know that it is going to work. So I don't think there's a hero per se that is off limits. The Team Spirit are like, yeah, against this we're definitely not going to play, because they have showcased multiple times, even in the previous tour and in this one, that they're willing to even lose a game, get close to losing a series, if it means that they're going to test some things out in an actual game. I think that's the right approach to getting better.
Yeah, we see the Undying coming out. Undying looking like the most popular pick in the meta at the minute, at least for Eastern Europe. Teams, it's not getting past that first phase. Pick bans. Mostly he's being picked. I think it's the most popular hero in the region at the minute.
No, you have Rubik Disruptor are the top. Undying is close. He is close though, and he is being banned out a lot as well.
Speaking of, though, Navi, they're going to go for the Ench and the Beastmaster combo. So sticking that, I guess you could jam them both in the offlane here. Ench, can go between that. I can't even call it position 4 and 5 because she plays this kind of 3.5 role. I talk about it every time. The damage that she outputs as well in the lane with the impetus, it does really start to stack up once you get in a couple of levels in this. And coming up against this, Team Spirit, the Beastmasters here, the Enchantress here, with the Undying already picked up. What do you think they want to lean towards here with their next pick?
Well, these two could already be an issue in the laning phase. So considering that you have an Undying, you go for a Morphling or something. Yeah, Drow Ranger makes sense as well. So any range hero is always nice against these. And Morphling and Drow are good because they can contribute damage to the Enchantress, and it doesn't really matter if they don't have enough attack speed, because Drow will have a multi-shot and waveform plus the adaptive strike from the Morphling will allow you to kill the hero. But they decide to go for a Drow. I mean, Yatoro has really shown how to position with the Drow, how to position with the Sniper, and I would always be afraid to play against him when he's playing these heroes. But on the other hand, you do have a Beastmaster, so I guess Vision will be on your side.
Yeah, and we'll see, what else that they want to go towards here, teams, like you say, to try and deal with that. Why aren't we seeing, like, the Nightstalk and the Doom coming out that have ways just to take the creeps away from the Ancient and the Beastmaster? Are they just really not good in this current meta?
Doom is okay, but Doom is being banned out quite a lot. In the second phase, usually we do see him taken out. And I mean, picking him in the first phase, it could be risky. You might get like Wraith Kings, Life Stealers, stuff like that is going to be problematic for you, both in the lane and later on in the game. And of course, there are other ways, Centaurs, Dark Seers that are going to help you deal with the Doom in general. So I think that's the main reason that hero is good, but he's not so good as to pick him in the first phase, and those kind of heroes usually are just taken out of the drafts more often than not.
Okay, well, we'll see if it does get through here. Looking ahead as well, we see Navi ban out the Snapfire, the Primal Beast goes as well. Two big heroes from the side of Spirit. Collapse on the Primal Beast and LOL on the Snapfire. Both have massive impacts in these games, so no surprise here, Navi, doing the homework, want to ban those out. The Spectre, the Ursa goes here from Team Spirit, so two big carries. Do you think we see something like the Anti-Mage for Navi? Because the Storm Spirit is incredibly popular at the minute. LoL likes that hero, and it's able to get on top of the Drow range as well, just being able to blink in and throw a lot of damage onto the Drow. So is that something that Team Spirit might look to ban in this phase? Or Navi, if it's open, do they want to look to maybe picking that up?
I think if Navi takes the Anti-Mage, the Team Spirit are gonna be playing the old style of Drow when she constantly fights. If you remember No-Tail Carry OG, right? Where the Drow is constantly with the team. Because Anti-Mage without the Manta is food for the Drow Ranger, because you don't have that much HP, don't have that much armor, you're just gonna be cut down completely. So I don't think Team Spirit are necessarily afraid of the hero. Navi could pick it up, Shigetsu plays a solid Anti-Mage, but if you play an Anti-Mage and you're on paper a weaker team, it's not going to work out well. Also, if you remember, we talked about the parallel between Team Spirit Anti-Mage and Navi Anti-Mage, not necessarily Yatoro and Shigetsu, because it's not only about the carry, it's the entire team. And Navi currently, at their state of the game, or what they've been showcasing, I don't think with an Anti-Mage they can beat Team Spirit. Their coordination is just not that great when utilizing the hero, but who knows? They can still try, and I wouldn't have anything against it. It's not a bad hero.
Yeah, it's actually going to be the Sun coming out, so you do still have, if they want to go towards that Anti-Mage, it is still there. The Morphlin's still there as well, another carry that's getting popular or is popular in the Eastern European region as well. We've seen some off-brand picks like Ramses, playing that Dragon Knight in the position 1, so that is still liable to pop up. I mean, Team Spirit, they could pick it for, either team could pick it for the mid laner. Spirit could look towards that for the off laner here as well if they really wanted. And that's something that we don't really have in the draft for either side just yet, is a Meteor Hammer builder.
Yeah, we don't. Team Spirit, though, they haven't focused all that much on Meteor Hammers,
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, on the Dragon Knight, Collapse did take it, but then on the Mars he did not. So it's he doesn't really see it as an item to get every game, and that's what we've seen in competitive Dota. Clockwork, though, is a good response here. You take away potential for the enemies to counter your vision, so now you're definitely stronger in terms of vision. You are lacking magic damage, but the vision can always compensate for that because you can search for the right fights. So I like it. I think it's a solid approach. It allows you to have better read of the map, and if you get closed out against a better team, you're never getting the map back. With these heroes, it's actually quite nice.
Do you think this signals the Nature's Prophet pick here for Navi as well? Because Prophet, even though he did get a bit of a nerf in the last patch, hasn't really fallen off. And coming up against the Drow, you've got the Clockwork Prophet that can get in close and really do some damage. So, Prophet pick for Navi, maybe?
I would like it. I would like it when you are lacking in damage. What you can compensate with is 2 push heroes, right? And
Yeah.
with 2 push heroes, even when you are dodging, you're winning the push game, right? And then at some point you gain the items to be able to fight, and you choose the right fights because of vision. I would like it. I think it's actually a pretty decent one. The other one you could go for is the sniper. It's also pseudo vision hero as well, and it would allow you to be on even stronger timing during night times and make sure that that is when you really ramp up the pressure.
Okay, and we'll see that, Team Spirit, they go for the Marana. Nothing picked up just yet as a setup stun. In fact, the Undying, the Drow Ranger, you've got the Gust that might give you that brief window. But for the minute, your Team Spirit may be looking for something. Again, the Storm Spirit wouldn't be too bad with the Vortex setup here, the Marana being able to throw the arrow and follow up. So we'll see if Team Spirit, they want to go towards that. Going through a lot of the reserve time here as well, down to 45 seconds for this next pick, and it's going to be the Tide.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Navi, currently they don't have much to deal with the Tide.
Mhm.
I think though you can with your carries deal with it. You could go Monkey King.
Yeah.
I can't say I necessarily love the Monkey King, but it's not bad, right? But then again, you could go for those range heroes that you mentioned, Nature's Prophet, Sniper. They would lane well against the Tide. And really, when you look at Team Spirit, they don't have the best lineup to get in your face. Though against the heroes of Navi, Tide is he's pretty much untouched. He will be able to walk in the early stages of the game before the Enchantress has some items. He's definitely going to be able to stand his ground and kind of get all of the hate towards him. So if I was Navi, I would focus on making Collapse and not have a good lane.
Yeah, and it's actually going to be the Storm Spirit coming out for Navi now, so going back for that, saving this final pick, they do have the final pick of the match as well, so they can take the time, they can deal with whatever they want to pick up. But I mean, it does give Team Spirit the reply to the mid laner here with the Storm Spirit being picked up. So the Bat Riders, the Ember Spirit still there. Is there anything you've seen Lyle play specifically that could help deal with the Storm Spirit in the mid lane?
It's tough. I think you need to make sure that the Storm has a bad game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So something that's gonna set up a Marana arrow, and OD comes to mind as a possible hero, right? Because you already have the Tidehunter and the Undying, so they will be able to protect the towers. So I guess having an OD is nice. Ember Spirit is going to be nice. Things like that are definitely going to be solid. Though banning out the Bloodseeker, even though it's good a good hero against the Drow, I feel like the Pango could be a solid one as well. Though I really wouldn't want to see it, to be honest. There's a ton of things Team Spirit lacks here. One is wave push, wave clear. So Puck, Puck is that was an obvious ban for sure. So they're lacking wave clear. They also need setup for arrow, right? And they need something that is gonna be able to invade maybe the Storm's jungle or crush him in lane. So it's not easy for Team Spirit to get on with all of those, right? Bat Rider could destroy the Storm Spirit in the lane, but you're not gonna push the tower. You're not gonna take over the map. Not an ideal position for Team Spirit. I like how Navi approached the draft.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the OD pick either, because it means, you've got that save, then the Beastmaster Roar comes out, Quick Hook Shot comes out. If you're not the one caught in it, you've got that, like you say, the Astral Imprisonment save. More the Line Ranger and the OD build towards those Hurricane Pikes, so you've got the 4-staff saves there as well. If the cogs do come out, a way to get your heroes away. So I do like the OD as a pickup. Got that tower push potential as well, being able to go for that Meteor Hammer itself, and we'll see if the Tide actually wants to go towards that as well. But the ability to take over the map it's a little bit stronger on the side of Navi, because you've got the Ench push out, you've got the Beastmaster push out, like you talked about in the draft. They still have the potential as well for the this final pick to come out as well for the carry. So Team Spirit, I would like say a hero that deals with that, maybe a bit of D push, but as a mid laner, I don't know a lot of heroes with the puck being banned out, so it is going to be the Ember Spirit coming through here for Team Spirit.
I think the idea was, let's give Laurel something that he's comfortable with. And you can see Navi in their bans. Puck, Pango, Snapfire earlier. They banned out the Primal Beast. Those are kind of Laurel heroes. What is left was Ember and the Zeus. And Zeus definitely doesn't fit the category here, because he's just going to be bursted down by the Storm Spirit. So I like it. I think Ember is the best one, considering who is playing it. Maybe some other heroes would have been better. And overall, catch from Navi is not ideal. If you're fast on your fingers, the Ember Spirit should be able to to escape more times than not.
Yeah, and like you talked about, the setup here, the slight fist into the Searing Chain sets up for the Marauder as well. It does mean that you're going to be able to have a hero that can dip in and out of the fights. Hunter and Undyne sitting on the front line, so the M Spirit really does want to be active around these fights and picking targets, and it means that you've got that chase as well. If anyone does dive themselves away or tries to run away, Spirit, if he's low on mana, you will be able to follow up here with a remnant on your own. The Lifestealer comes out from Na'Vi, though, up against Collapse on that Tidehunter. Shigetsu, how is this going to play out in the lane? Because you've got, again, a really good, strong hero in the Tide, but the Lifestealer, just being able to chunk you down with that max HP Lifesteal coming out against the Tide. Is it going to be a better lane here for Shigetsu than the Tide?
The lane isn't going to be that different between them. You're still two melee heroes against the Tide and the Mirana. You can't really get on top of the Mirana when she's level 2. She's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And Mirana does set up the lane nicely for the Tide. I like the Lifestealer, laning wise. You're gonna be fine. You're not gonna struggle, or should not struggle unless you make a couple of mistakes. But I'm afraid for the damage output of Navi. That could be problematic. Once the Lifestealer gets his third item, that is when he really starts packing a punch, right? But what until then, right? You have a Storm Spirit who also, if you fall behind, then everything is gonna go down the drain. So I'm kind of afraid here for Navi and their early mid game, right? Like 7 to 15 minutes. How are you gonna kill heroes? And if you try and fail, what is your comeback mechanism? I like the approach, catch and stuff, but I wanted to see a bit more damage on the on Shigetsu, because he tends to be the one that joins the fights earlier. So this is a bit risky for me. We'll see if they can make it work.
Yeah, we'll see what Shigetsu wants to build. What is the build for the Lifesteal as well? The Hand of Might is still involved, or is it just straight armlet into like Basher after boots, or what is it that the Lifesteal wants to be moving towards? Because I haven't seen one I can't even remember the last time I saw one.
I think this is Armlet Deso Halberd build, unless you're going for a Radiance build, which I'm not sure. You're kind of lacking on the physical damage, but you don't necessarily have to commit on it if you go for Radiance Manta. But me personally, I think that it's going to be Armlet Deso Halberd, considering the heroes on the other side.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye on him, see what he actually wants to build into. But first, guys, before we get started, as always, we have a word from our sponsors over at EGB, so check it out and then we'll get ourselves into the first game.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
Welcome back in. As we get started, we can see both teams coming out in smoke form, and it looks like it's just going to be for the wards here. Collapse in the mid lane now as well. So yeah, both do get dropped, and we'll see what he wants to do. Collapse and Shigetsu in a bit of a standoff in the mid lane here, but neither one going towards each other. You can see Meljul rotating himself back out towards that tier 1 tower as well. So, Hurry, looking at this matchup here, any thoughts? I didn't ask you, have you got any favorites coming into game number 1?
We already touched upon it, that Spirit are looking like the stronger team. I don't think Navi have outdrafted them, so to give them an advantage, and we are going to be seeing a little bit of a attempt there from Spirit. It's not going to work out. I still hope that Navi can keep their composure until their timing has come, but we'll see what Team Spirit has to say about it. I think December and the Mirana will be the bane of their existence. Just if you kill the Storm over and over again, or send the Beastmaster from the top lane, one or the other will be good enough. I think Navi will be in a tough spot, especially because the Tide, he'll be pushing aggressively for the entirety of the early game.
Yeah, and something that we don't see all too often here, usually the Maranas, they start off with a point of the Starstorm, as we do see the odds coming in from EGB here. Again, Navi, alright, but it's not. You can see Team Spirit are going to be the favourites coming into game number 1. It's Malady chases down with the Battery Assault onto Mira, so Mira's going to be taking a lot of damage here now as well. And yeah, and it's Marana. You can see down to below half health, having to use the tangos already. And as I was just about to say, that starting off with the point into the arrow, usually at level 1 in the current meta, we see the Marana starting off with the points into the leap or the Starstorm, but it's going to be that arrow coming out for Mira here at level 1.
And that's when it's the safe lane Miranas. Off lane Miranas, I never really liked the start off with the Starstorm, because the idea here is to secure the lane for off laner overall. But he's gonna be fine. Here in the mid lane, we can see that Melajul and Laurel, they really hate each other with some brotherly love, you know, between the two spirits. So it's they are trying to apply as much pressure, and for now, Laurel is doing a pretty solid job.
Yeah, you can see him coming forward, the harass coming out with the sleight of fist here in chains. Excuse me, the sleight of fist and the flame guard coming out onto Melajul, and Melajul's just having to back himself away. And we'll see, you know, I think he's got the ball out at top lane. Yatoro, he's going to be chased down. Can he get himself away from this one? Daniel through the trees, one more right click, and Daniel should have it. He's going to be able to pick up the first blood. So, the Carrier Enchantress strikes early, and he's probably going to strike often as well. Yatoro has to be careful about this. In fact, and Poshka might even lose his courier.
Yep, the courier is dead, and to be honest, if Yatoro survives that one last hit that was flying to him, he had a healing salve, he probably would have survived, and maybe even turned around, but it is gonna be a quite an unfortunate thing, though. On the bottom lane, we're seeing Collapse and Mira are running down Malady, so that's gonna be a nice return kill there for Team Spirit, and kind of showing what's gonna happen to this clock. I really like how Mira started off with the Blightstone, so that when the clock comes in with a double minus armor, these two just crush him.
Yeah, and you do have kind of semi-setup as well for the arrow, because you have a 40% slow on the gush. So being able to throw that out, if you've got line of sight onto Malady or onto any hero, really, with this gush coming through, you know, you are going to have a decent timing on the arrow. And I am going to call it Gust and Gush, and Drow Ranger's Gust is going to be Gush throughout the match. It's just what happens with them being pretty much the same similar word.
Speaking about similarities, you know, on top lane we saw the Drow die. Now, you know, it's gonna be on the top lane, not the Drow, so it is similar, but it is gonna be an Undying. And this is a problem. You are playing an Undying lane, and you are losing. You're losing heavily. Now it's gonna be even worse with the Harpy Stormcrafter.
I mean, you wanted to see where the damage was going to come from early, and Daniel's showing you exactly where it's going to be coming from. Picking up 2 kills already in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Usually, the way that you deal with when your lineup is not good at dealing damage is that you have a really good laning phase, right? Yeah. And I think this is an awesome start for your top lane, though, you know, the Beastmaster still isn't getting a ton of CS.
No, that is true. Daniel needs to get himself away from this one now as well. Going to be chased down. Maposhi's got that decay. Not going to throw it out. And Daniel's going to be in the trees. Got that TP. Does he have the distance away if he wants to go for it? In fact, no. He's going to get cheeky once again. Look for that courier. One more right click. And he goes down to the tower before he gets it. But the idea was there.
He did eat the tree to try to get over the tower range, but it just wasn't enough. And yeah, that is he's not gonna be ending up too happy. And also, speaking about not being happy, Melajul is low, and the same is true for Malik. So some cores of Navi are getting dangerously low on the map currently.
Yeah, Lal gets the kill into the mid lane there, comes in, he gets that sleight of fist off with the flame guard. Like I said, Melajul, he didn't have a lot of health left, so an easy pick off there for Lal, and he's just going to be... any idea what the Waterins enjoy voice line is?
I am on mid. Yana mid.
Okay.
So pretty much, yeah, he was the only one on mid, to be honest, after he killed the Storm. And this is definitely not good. Storm is having a ton of CS, but dying solo against the mid laner is a big deal. If it was a rotation from a support, fine, but it's no commit at all from Team Spirit, and they get a kill, putting their, I'd say, most important early game hero on in an even better spot. And we talked about Navi's problems in the early mid game. This Ember Spirit could be a huge deal going forward.
Yeah, we'll see how Melajul's going to try and get back into it here, because like you say, just having that advantage, the solo kill as well, does give you a decent amount of XP, so Lal will be hitting that 6 fairly soon, you know, maybe goes for a rotation. In fact, might just be able to follow Melajul up if he gets it before Melajul, which he will do. In fact, he's going to be this creep away from it, it looks like. You know, he's going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto the Storm Spirit here, just in the lane, and dive himself back like this, you know, get his mana back, get his health back, come right back in and dive onto Melajul if he wants to.
Yeah, we'll see what's gonna be happening there in the mid lane. But yeah, I'm scared for Melajul as well. Very soon we'll probably see if Laurel is gonna be diving that one. The observer now is like, yeah, this is looking dangerous for Melajul, and Laurel. He's not gonna risk it.
No. No, well, maybe we might see rotation. I mean, both supports on both sidelines here, just trying to deal the damage. You know, they're busy dealing with the supports on the other side. You can see that the Undying is constantly taking damage, and if he doesn't, you know, if he does move himself away, this Drow is going to be open to a gank. Daniel, once again, the decade's coming through. The slow onto this enchant, and Miposhka can get himself away from this one. The Tombstone's going to be dropped, but Miposhka, he's going to be dropped right after it. And in fact, with the Centaur now as well, Daniel, does he go down to the zombies? I think he does. Oh, that was so close, and he does deny the rune there as well with the Centaur that he's enchanted, but that was... an attack sooner. He gets the kill onto the Tombstone. He even gets the rune out of that. He gets everything. But as it stands, the Tombstone did live just a little bit too long, and the Ench will be taken down.
While that was happening, we did see a approach to the mid lane from the Mirana, and they are still hunting on Meljo. Laurel makes a mistake. Oh, that's an unfortunate one. He did want to go for the slide of his searing chains, and Mira was in a good angle. But this is going to make sure that Meljo lives now.
Yeah, and you can see him just playing away, you know, using that ball line, and he's just trying to play away from Lol. Lol comes in, trying to do that. He's just trying to find the farm here, doing a little bit of damage onto Meljo, but Meljo now has that Falcon's Blade out, has the bottle as well, so he's not really going to struggle for mana, and the health as well should be fine, as long as he can get himself away with the ball lightning. Meanwhile, top lane, there is going to be this rotation up. Mira comes in now with the 1 point into the Starstorm. Daniel, 3 heroes going to be slowed down, chased down, the multi-shot. Yatoro picks up the kill.
That's gonna be a nice one. You don't want the Enchantress to get out of hand because she's gonna be in your jungle getting all the hate towards herself. And Mira, he understands that he created space for the Collapse in the bottom lane, and he feels like Collapse can stay alone. Though let's see if that's actually the case.
Yeah, Collapse going to be taking a lot of damage now as well. Doesn't actually have the mana. Well, he has the Mango, but didn't have the mana at the time for the Ravage. So it looks like Mira just going to TP and help save his life as the cogs do get dropped here. The right click's coming through from Shigetsu as well, but eventually they do move themselves away. Tidehunter now has that. Well, he has the Meteor Hammer as well on Collapse. Has the extra mana if he needs to. If they want to engage onto Shigetsu, the Meteor Hammer's going to be dropped. Can he find the angle? Can he find the kill here onto Shigetsu? Point blank Ravage comes outwards. That arrow, it does connect. And Lifestealer, he's probably going to go down. Throws that rage. No, the Infest. Can he get himself away? Just running himself out. Meanwhile, the chase down Meljo, just trying to help secure the rune. It's going to be a double damage here for the Storm Spirit.
Yeah. He does get that one. The second power rune, second and third power runes are usually the most important ones for the spirits, because with those you can actually rotate. But yeah, that attempt on the bottom lane with the Meteor Hammer, with the Ravage, Shigetsu surviving barely, literally barely. He was one hit away from dying. It really does give a lot to Navi currently, because it's gonna allow Shigetsu to stay on the bottom lane for a very long time now.
Yeah, Collapse could be in trouble now as well. The cogs are going to be dropped with the Battery Assault coming through now as well. Shigetsu looking for those right clicks. Collapse, can he get himself away from this one? Still being stunned up. The right click's coming through, but he's a big tanky boy here, and they won't be able to make sushi out of him just yet.
Yeah, you will survive, and while that is happening, you know, Mira is constantly poking. Overall, Navi, they are losing in terms of net worth. I mean, all of their cores are beneath the cores of Spirit, but not by much. And with the Lifestealer having a solid time, if he can stay here on the bottom lane for a long time without allowing Collapse to utilize his Meteor Hammer, that could be the way of delaying things until you're actually ready to bring people down.
Yeah, I mean, we did see though Collapse. He was just standing himself in the trees. He keeps finding this little gap in the trees just above the tier 1 tower to drop the hammer when the creeps are rotating in as well. So he is trying to keep the pressure on the lane. But like you said, Shigetsu, he's got that self-sustain coming out. He can just sit on the creep waves and just stop that pressure. So you do still have the Meteor Hammer damage that he's doing, but the creeps aren't pushing in to do that extra damage onto the tower.
Yeah, it is. Shigetsu's doing a good job, right? And if he's pressuring, then Collapse cannot do it because he's gonna have to be farming creeps. Speaking of farming, well, Spirit are going for heroes now.
Yeah, can they find the kill? They do take down Maldi. Are they going to be able to get anything outside of this, Danielle? He's not got any points into the nature of the tenants as well. Going to be taking a lot of damage from Lol. Slider Fist comes through here, but Lol, he's taking it right back. The Vortex comes through as well. Danielle, he's looking for the damage. He's looking to snipe out on the sidelines, but can't take any more because he will go down himself. 136 health. Meanwhile, Meljo, Searing Chains the arrow. It does connect. Storm Spirit. Is the stun going to last long enough? No. He gets that ball lightning away. Melduel, he looks like he is going to be fine. He even gets himself a regen rune, so he can make a move towards Collapse on the bottom lane here if he wants to, as Daniel is going to be chased down. Miposhka, can he get that last right click? It looks like underneath the tier 2 tower, Miposhka, it might just be mission avoid. No, does actually get the kill. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Collapse, he pops that Ravage, but it is going to be a defensive one. Was that Vortex drag back? Anything Collapse. He's going to be taking a hold on, and there's going to be the Vortex now as well. Arrow does fly through, but the Rage comes out from Shigetsu. One more right click, he does take down the Tide. And now, well, he's got to be careful. 3 heroes here for the side of Spirit. And they come in, and now Storm Spirit this time, he's not going to have that regen rune, so using the ball lightning to get himself away from this one. The Remnant chasing. Do they get anything from this? Miposhka in the neutrals now as well. Going to be taking a lot of damage, trying to avoid those battery assaults on Miposhka. He might go down to the lifesteal. He will go down to the Malady. Now Mira, Searing Chains. That sleight of fist, Lol. The Infest
nice
comes
one.
out immediately, and Daniel's back. Lol. He has that Remnant if he wants to, but he does get the kill onto Malady. And will be able to jump himself away.
This fight was so long, and Team Spirit, even at the start of it, didn't have enough resources. If Mira had enough mana to work with, they also gave a Mango to Laurel there in the mid lane so that he could Remnant back. If he had enough mana, they initially killed the Storm when he went for the greedy steal of the regen rune, and then none of this happens. But Team Spirit, even despite having such low resources, they still stay there and are continuing to go for Melduel.
Yeah, they got the lockdown, they got the kill, and Mira's going to be the one to pick it up.
That is a big deal for sure, especially with Daniel. He is an easy bonus here.
Underneath the tier 1 tower as well, and with this lane pushing in, I mean, the damage that they can do to this tier 1, they don't have Collapse with the Meteor Hammer, but with the creeps pushing in and 3 heroes, this tier 1 tower is going to take, well, Fortification comes out actually, but it could have taken a whole lot of punishment.
It's a day and night difference now. When Mira has his arcane boots, when he bought those, it's gonna be much easier for Team Spirit to continue with the aggression. You can see no fear in them because they know they just can't die, especially the Ember Spirit. If he leaves the Remnant back, there is no chance in hell you're getting bursted down without the roar. And Beastmaster rotating somewhere else before he has taken the enemy safe lane tower, well, you know, that's just sad, not how the hero works.
No, and you can see that Yaturo's done a really good job. Oh, in the mid lane though. Did he get a kill onto the Clockwork? It looks like the damage, is it going to be enough? The Remnant dives in, and Malady underneath the tier 1. He's going to go down. He's not even going to go down swinging. He's just going to go down.
Yeah, there's nothing he could do. With this pressure onto the mid lane, Navi are finally starting to go towards the top lane. You know, they have the Dark Troll Summoner there, will take down the tower. The problem is that he didn't go for that immediately on Malik, right? So, because of that, Team Spirit did get a couple of kills, and now we'll get a mid lane tower, whereas everything that Navi did was so slow.
Meanwhile, they do jump onto Collapse. Can they get a kill onto this? I mean, Collapse is going to be dragged back by the Vortex. One more right click, the Infest comes out, and the jump, does it follow back up near the hookshot? Oh, the hookshot's just a little bit too short. Mira, the Cogs do come through. They do have the damage to get the kill. It looks like the Storm Spirit. He's going to be taken down, actually. He might be able to turn this one around here. Can he get Shigetsu away? Shigetsu, he's got that rage if he needs to move himself away. Using that armlet toggle, the Tombstone is going to drop, but Chase comes through here. Shigetsu with the phase boots. He's going to be a little bit too fast. It looks like he is building towards that Radiance. But lol, I mean, you've got 4 heroes down here. What can you do with them? The arrow's going to connect the Meteor Hammer just on the edge of it now. Clockwork. Going to get himself away. The Gush comes through now as well. Lol, Searing Chains, they've got all the lockdown in the world. And they find the kill onto the Clockwork underneath the tier 2.
Laurel's decision-making and approach has been amazing, but his execution has really been subpar in this game many times. I think I've seen him 3 or 4 just mess up the sleight of fist chain, so that has cost them a bit. Now did probably cost them a lifestealer kill.
Yeah, and Shigetsu, he's going to turn right back around and Collapse. I mean, he's got no way to stop it, so Collapse just goes for the TP away, who, the rotation up to the top lane now as well. You can see that Malik trying to push it in. They did take that tier 1 tower, but yeah, Collapse, he's going to be able to follow up. He's got the Gushes, he's got the Anchor Smashes, and the Beastmaster all of a sudden TPing away.
He knows this is a problem. Navi needed to transition the game towards the top lane rather than play the bottom lane and respond to what Spirits were doing. They do get the kill in the mid lane, but the last part of the map that Navi somewhat control and could be stronger on is the top lane where they have the Beastmaster, but they're not pulling the fights there, and that's why Team Spirit are over and over again coming up ahead, and now they were even able to force out the Beastmaster from the top. So there isn't really a part of the map that Navi is confidently controlling now.
No, and with this tier 1 tower going down in the mid lane, you know, it does open up the ability for Team Spirit to go for the, you know, into the jungle, move themselves through, try and take control of this with the wards. And then if they do start to look to the triangle as well, I mean, the triangle, though, oh no, the Beastmaster took them, but there was a few stacks there, and it looks like Yatoro, he's moved himself down toward this bottom lane. They're focusing on putting the pressure onto this mid lane, you know, chasing down, and Daniel, he might be the next target. Cooked venison, anyone? As the Ember Spirit comes through, sleight of fist, he held it just to make sure he got this kill.
You did eat before this one, Rob. I did not, but yeah, Poshka is gone.
Listen, you underestimate my ability to go for a second meal. I'm like a hobbit. Second breakfast, anyone? As, yeah, Shigetsu comes in, though, does get a double kill there. So a nice setup with the dive in with the, you know, the Infest Bomb into that hookshot as well. Really good setup. And, you know, Navi, that's what they needed here in this game.
Yep, they finally brought down Laurel.
Oh,
Melajul, the second Starstorm, it always follows you.
Yeah. Yeah, and he just didn't have the ball lightning to get away. They're good at avoiding on the first one, but Mira now, is he going to be able to get himself away from this one? The chase down, Shigetsu, one more right click, he picks it up.
He got a little bit greedy, wanted to go for that one. And the Lifestealer will be going for Radiance, so this is going to be an armless Radiance build. I'm curious to see if he is going to go for a Manta, because that would be good now, because you're up against the Drow. But then when you look at Yatoro, he's going for a Butterfly. The damage output of this Drow is going to be stupid.
Yeah, and yeah, with the Dragon Lance as well, you are going to be able to play the range away from that Radiance, so we'll see just how the Lifestealer decides he's going to close that gap. Collapse, going to be taking a lot of damage here on the top lane, and it looks like the axe is flying through Collapse, so he's just going to be, he's still going to be fine. Has that mechanism if he really needs it, going towards the Greaves as well, so he is going to have that inbuilt purge, and the hookshot, it does actually connect onto the Tide Hunter. Tide can get himself away from this one if he wants to. He's going to throw the Ravage outwards, his team to follow up now. It looks like Collapse going to take a whole lot of damage. He is going to collapse, and the follow-up comes through. Steering Chains with that sleight of fist. Marley will go down, but can he get more out of this?
Nope. Every single Ravage in this game has been pretty bad coming out from Collapse to survive. I understand he's playing this fat Tide that is taking the hate towards himself, but why did you go for a Meteor Hammer then? I understand you want to push early, but your build definitely doesn't reflect it, so that's why he's just going towards that Blink. He's gonna start becoming a Blink Ravage on this side, but Navi are getting their time to get some of the key items. And Lifestealer with the Radiance now, he's gonna be dealing with some of the problems they had previously. Damage, and of course ways to push out the waves.
Yeah, and how does he... Oh, we might see the death of the Storm Spirit now as well. Storm's gonna be out of mana. He's gonna go right down.
Run, Piggy.
Mira. I mean, Lal is waiting. He's got that Searing Chain. Sleight of Fist comes out. Did he go for the point blank? Oh, the arrow's still on cooldown. Shigetsu did move himself over. Daniel TPing in now as well. And again, there is no Ravage for Collapse. So it looks like Spirit just going to back themselves away.
They're gonna be okay there. And the worst has passed for Navi though. Team Spirit, they are getting these kills, some of them in the mid lane, and they did open up the map properly to do so. This is what Ember Spirit does well. But finally the Lifestealer can contribute, and he is gonna be going for a Manta, which is gonna allow them to deal with the waves more. Navi are starting to gain some ground, and now walking into the Roche, considering you're surrounded by Team Spirit vision, I guess it could work because there's no Ravage.
No, there's not as well, and you've got the Hawk vision as well coming in from Malik, so he is going to have some of these, you know, common areas where Team Spirit might want to try and contest if he even knew it was happening. But yeah, Spirit don't even contest onto this. The hookshot comes in, he gets himself right on top of Collapse. There's going to be a really good hook into the cogs, and he's going to go down even with the mech. Shigetsu gets the kill, and now they might even be able to go for more, but do they want to try and jump on top of this? Daniel, with the damage, they are going to be able to immediately pop this Aegis. They take down Maldi. Can they go for more? Lol, he might try to set up here. Searing Chains are off cooldown. Miposhki taking a whole lot of punishment. Shigetsu with the Reg. Malik will be able to claim the kill. Oh, Mira with the leap out, but the range on Danielle with the impetus, it was still going, and that damage, it kind of maxed out there, and it was lucky that Mira didn't go down. Now the arrow, the lockdown, he will get the kill onto the Ench once again. Meljul with the dive in, but the gust comes out here from Yatoro.
He needs help.
Yeah, and he's going to be Vortex right back now as well. Lol trying to do what he can, but it looks like Meljul, he's going to be taking so much punishment uphill, and Yatoro with his butterfly, she gets to with the TP away, nothing to stop it through the rage.
Yataro's positioning is so good in that fight. First, he kills the Clockwork earlier on in the fight, and you can see that Malik is hunting him, but he's just always out of range of the Beastmaster, killing the creeps, killing everything he can without being caught. And now he gets into the face of the opponents, and he's just far enough away to not get pulled into a roar. With a 4-step from the Mirana, he gets into a perfect position. He can even kill the Storm Spirit. So for a second, it was, yeah, Yataro is in trouble, but no, he actually knows what he's doing. And when he turns around, it is Navi that have to run.
Yeah, and I like the way he's itemizing as well. Like you say, he's got that butterfly, but he's got, he didn't go for the Hurricane Pike. He knew that if Shigetsu gets active early, the right clicks, this might be his lifesaver. He's going straight for the BKB afterwards and then into a Daedalus. So the Hurricane Pike, I do expect it to come at some point, especially, once the lifesteal starts to be able to close that gap and just be able to push yourself away. But for the minute, he knows that he might have to fight early, and he's itemized towards that pretty efficiently.
He wants to be able to do a lot of damage while standing. And to be honest, with the butterfly, you have a chance of standing your ground against the lifestealer, even if he's next to you. Yeah. He's not really gonna do all that much. The BKB might be a bit tricky because, your teammates won't be able to force you out. But when you look at Navi, their physical damage output is very low. That's why I expected the lifestealer to go for a Deso. Now with the Radiance build, you do have solid right click, but it is nowhere near to what you would be comfortable with at taking down the Drow if she does get stunned up by the roar.
Yeah, and we'll see how Navi want to respond to this, because, I suppose the lifesteal is one of those heroes that doesn't mind going into the MKB. So we'll see how quickly he, because the butterfly has been revealed, and Shigetsu, after this Manta Star, we'll see how quickly he wants to go towards that, or if he does even go towards it at all, because, like I said, the lifesteal build, I'm not 100% sure what he wants to build into, but I assume the MKB, it can't be too far off the Manta, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be after the Manta, unless he really thinks he needs a BKB. That could be an item I see before it. Halberd, well, I don't know. I'm not sure at this point, even though it's a solid one against the Drow. Good positioning from Miposhka. He saves the Drow's life.
Yeah, and again, just being able to play this living ward kind of role as your position 5, you stand in, you protect. Oh, the hookshot though, they might even be able to get more out of this. The Ravage will come through from the Tidehunter now as well. Mira can get himself away. Beautiful. He'll be able to leap himself up to the high ground, and Malady will go down. Meljul, he can't get onto the dive onto Mira. Mira was already so far away from it now, and they do get a double kill onto Lal. He takes down Danielle. Do they go for more here? The Remy's going to be coming through. Meljul's going to be able to get the ball line in away, and the chase, it won't connect here from Spirit, but they do get 2 out of that after trading away their Undying.
The second their smoke broke and they only got the support kill, with the positioning of Spirit, it was apparent Navi had to run, and they should be lucky they lost only two supports. And the reason why that happened is because Malik played a really nice, cool play. He didn't have the summon boar, he didn't have his Helm of the Overlord creep next to him, and he got Sleight of Fist chained, right? Arrow is coming through, he uses the Hawk. Hawk tanks the arrow, and he gets himself out. If this is any different and he dies, the chase down from Spirit might be even more detrimental to Navi.
Yeah, we'll see here. Lal, he's getting himself in the triangle. How are the odds looking? Oh, that's a big jump here for Navi. So, EGB, it looks like Team Spirit securely in their eyes in the lead of this game here. And, 23-13 and a 5k net worth lead. This is looking pretty good here for Team Spirit so far.
Yeah, for sure. And Laurel also has a Lincoln Sphere, which was just now popped by the Enchantress, making him pretty much unkillable. The only way he dies, if it's a Clockwork Hookshot pushback, then they use the Vortex or Enchant, let's say, and then the Roar comes out, right? It's very hard to execute, so he's pretty much unkillable at this point, especially with having his team behind him, and that's what Spirit are going for a 5-man smoke. The lanes are in a decent position, so this one might actually work. Yeah,
we'll see where they're going to be able to rotate it. Mali's going to be the furthest one forward here, so maybe he's going to be the one to break that smoke as, like you say, Team Spirit starting to move themselves around. No Ravage for the next 35 seconds, though. So Mali just moving himself away. Smoke, it might break. There is going to be Moonlight Shadow. It's going to be Danielle as well as Mali, and it looks like they're both going to go down. Both supports on the side of Navi are going to be taken care of here from the side of Team Spirit, but I suppose at least it does warn the cause on the side of Navi.
Yeah, very good positioning from Navi supports. I think Navi at that point knew that despite the Ravage being down, that they cannot fight. And they wanted to farm the most out of the map. So Meljul and Shigetsu are moving towards the bottom lane, and both the Clockwork and the Enchantress are kind of covering both of the entrance points to the bottom part of the map. They do die, but they create some more space for their cores.
Yeah, and we'll see here. I mean, Team Spirit, even with the Moonlight Shadow being down, even without a smoke, you know, they are still moving around as a team, looking to find pickoffs. So they might even find Mal. I mean, Mal's going to jump in. The Infest Bomb coming through now as well. But the Ravage is going to connect onto the Lifestealer. Lifestealer, even with this Rage, is he able to do the damage onto Collapse? The Force Staff comes out. Danielle trying to do what he can. But they're able to go in with a Searing Chain, Slider Fist into the Arrow. And Shigetsu is at least going to get the kill onto Maposhika. But it will cost them Danielle.
Yeah, two heroes were not part of that fight, Melojul and Yadro. Yadro TP'd to the bottom lane, got the silence onto a Storm and needed one more hit to kill him while that fight was also happening. So with Team Spirit not having their main damage dealer, it allows Navi to have a little bit of a longer fight and come out in a 1 versus 1 scenario. But I'm very much afraid because this Lifestealer, he's just not killing people fast enough. So when Yadro is part of the fight, I mean, you're toast.
Yeah, and he came in with that Infest Bomb there as well. He mistimed the Rage, so he was caught in the Ravage, which really did delay, you know, the damage that he could have done there. And maybe Collapse, if he gets that Rage off, maybe Collapse does go down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's got the Greaves as well now. So, Tidehunter, you know, 2.1k health. He's got the Greaves. He's got, you know, a decent amount of regen coming out from the Meteor Hammer as well. So, it is really hard to get through this Tide.
Yeah, especially when he drops low. You know, you're thinking you're killing him, and then the Guardian Aura does come into play, and you get all of that bonus armor. Suddenly, the Tide becomes much tankier than he was previously, and you're already used to kind of killing him fast, and then you can overextend because of that one. That's also one of the good uses of the Guardian Greaves, and when you have no death, so well, good luck going through that.
Daniel, he's just straight going to go down. Ooh, the hookshot does come in though. Again, the Infest Bomb comes out, but the Force Staff to collapse, and he just pops those Guardian Greaves, trying to walk himself away. The arrows onto Malik, and Malik is going to be in so much trouble, damage. Even after the Roar comes through, and Yatoro with the triple. Can he go for even more as the buyback comes out from the Ench? And we'll see here what Navi are they going to try and do anything about this, because I mean you can see that Team Spirit, they're looking to reset, they're looking to come in again, and Melojul is going to be so careful. Collapse sees him, not going to be able to get the tendrils off onto Melojul. He does get the arrow away here. The arrow not going to connect. It was on target though. Melojul just using this ball lightning to evade. It's going to cost him a tier 1 tower.
They cannot fight Yadro. That's the thing. They were coming in to roar him, and Laro just gives the Lincolns onto him. You know, selfless act, because he knows at that point, if Yadro is completely protected, there is no chance in hell that Navi can stand their ground and fight. And the only thing that's keeping Navi's scores alive, Melojul and Shigetsu, is because the chase potential from Spirit, it's really not that great, especially against the Storm and the Lifestealer.
Yeah, and just looking at, again, Team Spirit, the grouped up, they're hanging around, and Roche is going to move for the next 55 seconds as well. So if you're Navi, can you really contest into this if Team Spirit start to attempt Roche?
You actually can, because you have good vision, so you can find a good angle to go in. The strength of Navi's lineup comes from engaging and getting the instant kill. And that is why I think Team Spirit now are going to be focusing on keeping their buybacks, and then you walk into the pit. If you have buybacks and you walk into the pit, Navi are pretty much helpless to stop you from taking it.
Okay. And we'll see. I mean, we've already got the push out for Shigetsu on this bottom lane as well. It did force, I can't even say it's forced a rotation from Lal, because he has the remnants to jump into now as well. The one in the pit will be ticking down in the next 8 seconds or so, but it does mean they're a little split up. In fact, both remnants will be ticking down. So I think he'll be able to get the jump now. He just goes for the dive away, joins up with the rest of his team. As it does go down, we'll see. In fact, were they illusions? I think they were illusions, actually.
He had illusions. He had a remnant close to the pit as well, so that's he did have a remnant next to the pit to be able to come back, and the ones that were scouting out the pit were illusions. Now it is gonna be Navi that knows that the Roche is alive. First, they did take the mid lane tower down, which has been kind of causing them quite a lot of problems. And the thing is, though, they are not in a great position to move towards the pit. Because look at Yadro. He drew a line. He's like, if they're coming from this angle. And when you know from which angle they're coming, it's much easier for you to set up.
I think they're even using... Okay, no, they're not. It looked like they were using the couriers as some moving wards as well. But the Moonlight Shadow is going to come out here from the side of Team Spirit. So maybe a bit of a bait here onto Navi, you know, saying, oh yeah, we're definitely in the pit. Come and contest it. Unfortunately, you know, there is a Hawk around there. So now we'll see. I mean, Yatoro inside the pit. And it does get dealt with now. But Navi, are they going to respond to this? It looks like they're just going to try and push down this tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. And that's going to be the objective they trade off for Roche.
This is too fast.
He got it! No way!
Because he's a genius. You know, he knew. Malady knew. And I'm just kidding. That's something that just happens sometimes, and he's gonna be very happy about it. Tell me somebody saw that. We all saw it, Melody. You are the best. And this is what happens when you have a guy who has 2 accounts in top 20. I mean, on your support, you're just gonna be able to make plays like this. Some might call it luck.
Luck is still a skill. It's a perfect timing there to be able to get the rocket flare and snipe the kill. Unfortunately, though, you aren't going to be able to snipe that Aegis, and Dry Ranger gets the shard as well. So he's going to have the hypothermal coming out. And it looks like Meljul's going to dive himself away. In fact, Mira, no, he had collapsed behind him, so Mira's going to be absolutely fine. Meanwhile, that was happening. Yeah, Navi were finding the objectives on the map. The tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. You're finding some farm as well. So it's still going to be some pace being kept here by the Lifestealer. And it is going to be the MKB in about 200 gold.
Do you maybe remember? Maybe it was even a Dota 1 clip. Who Dota 1 clip? Or maybe it was Dota 2. But I think it was a very long time ago either way. It was named It's Not a Matter of... luck, it's a matter of time, and you know, a lot of the skills are used because they're counting seconds going into the fog of war. It was a really cool clip. I watched it like 1 billion times when I was a kid, but yeah, it definitely got me, gave me some memories there when he did snipe the Roche.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just absolute perfect timing, you know, and like you say, the fact that he's got the two, was it 2 in the top 20? Did you say?
Yep, and he was top 1 at some point. He was top 1. Watson was number 2. Now it's different. I think Melody, I don't know if he's even top 10 currently with his 1 account, but he is up there.
Well, you know, it's definitely showing. It would definitely show though with that snipe. And Malik in the trees, 3 heroes above, but he is playing away from vision here. Nothing scouted out, but yeah, but I'd probably look for that TP out sometime soon if I was you.
Meljul is also on in the top lane, and him and the Lifestealer, they're just enjoying each other's company, right? I like that the Lifestealer went for the MKB. The AC was I don't want to get killed type of item. This is the one that can elevate their lineup. If you get on top of the Drow when she doesn't have the Aegis, of course, and you burst her down, that is the path to winning the fight.
Yeah, he's going to benefit from the attack speed as well. With the Feasters collapsed, they get the kill into Danielle so early. Warning system triggered. Are they going to be able to get themselves away from this one, Navi? Or do they want to go for the tier 2 tower? They do. And then the Rage TP comes out from Shigetsu. Any follow-up? Nope. Meljul, he should be able to find the angle for the TP as well. In fact, Collapse is close, but Meljul in the trees. Does he get himself away from this one? Still has the ball landing if he needs to really push the panic button, which he does into the creep wave. And now it's going to be the dive into the base, the TP away. And Meljul underneath the tier 4s. He's going to be out fine.
No, literally, I'm the king of the world. You know, he raises his arms up into the air next to the enemy ancient, and there's absolutely nothing that Spirit can do about it at that point, because he could have zipped anywhere, right, left, right, center, and you don't really know, so you don't want to bring any more heroes. Just get him out of there, and that's about it. But Navi have been doing a really good job at delaying the Aegis.
Yeah, they might even go for the jump in here now as well. Was this a bait by? It looks like it was by Malik. And Collapse, he's going to go down. Couldn't heal up. Shigetsu, though, did he want to go for even more? As Malady does get locked down. He's got the Ogre Seal Totem to try and get himself away from this one, as the zombies do give chase, but they will be dealt with. As now Navi on the retreat, a tactical retreat, as they get the kill and back themselves away.
Yep, you don't get a return kill. You are the ones that are losing time on the Aegis, and Navi, well, they're keeping themselves really nicely in this game. You can see now when the Lifestealer has the MKB, their damage output is insane. Armor is not going to help you any longer.
No, he's just going to be able to see he's a right-click beast here. Going for the Scotty next as well. And yeah, when he comes in, the Radiance Burn coming through the armlet toggles and the like you say, the attack speed. And again, up against someone like Collapse, when you've got the Feast to come through. So it's that max health damage. You're at level 4, even at 1.7%. That's still a lot to come out against the Tide.
Shigetsu wants to go for a Scotty. I still would prefer an Abyssal Blade, right? It gives you more chances of killing people. And Navi's lineup, if that's not what they do with the first Rage, your fight is gone. And yeah, he did buy the Basher. Thank you, Shigetsu. That is the right way forward. He's playing to win, and he should be.
Yeah, if he gets himself on top of the Drow Ranger with some sort, you know, the Infest Bomb to come out, chase down. He's even got, I love that he's got the Open Wounds as well. For the longest time, when the skill got changed to Ghoul Frenzy and the Open Wounds was a shard, nobody was picking it up as far as I saw, but you can see now, the people playing the lifestealer, they've recognized the benefit of the open wounds just to be able to get that gap close off. Because if you can't get the gap close in the first place, you can't get that dual frenzy active. And
I
now
don't
jump
know.
in. You get the lockdown onto Lyle now as well. The vortex comes out. Yatoro though, he pops the BKB. The four staffs, the right click.
Where's the
He's
vision?
gonna try and get himself away. Do they have the lockdown? They do. Yatoro though inside the cogs. He's gonna be the only one inside the cogs.
alive.
He's trying to do what he can. He is gonna go down. They get the kill onto the lifestealer. Yatoro, he brought his teammates so much time there, just being solo inside the cogs. Melody trying to do what he can. He's gonna go down though. Not a lot of mana left. And he's going to be taken down. The Remnant, it's not going to be enough. And the chase down onto Malik. Malik has to go for the blink away, using that BKB of his own. The arrow, though, does he walk himself in? Oh, that Hawk, he nearly walked himself into it, though. And that was a great turnaround fight there from Spirit, purely for the fact that Yatoro, he was the only one inside the cogs. No one could get close to him. He was just putting out damage over damage over damage.
Oh, those cogs from Malady. We did say a couple of good words from him, but it actually saved Yatoro. He was alive for a little bit longer than he should have, and possibly that's what lost the fight for Navi. Also, that was very cute there. At one part of the fight when Collapse used his Ravage, it was right next to the Clockwork who had the battery assault off, so he started casting the Meteor Hammer and immediately got cancelled in the first millisecond literally of the cast there, but it is what it is. It doesn't really matter. Team Spirit also now to get the bonus kill. Mira, he's constantly trying with those arrows, and once one connects, you easily get the kill. And despite their carry dying, they still get the Raxes, and this is big, right? Because Navi, they got the perfect initiation, they got the perfect target, they just slightly messed up, and this is the result.
But that's going to give the goal over to the Tidehunter because they did win that fight. He survived all the way through it as well. They took the tier 3 collapse. He's going to have that refresher in the next, well, this creep camp coming out.
Yep. Yeah, well, when you look at Team Spirit, they are getting their end game items, their luxury items. The Hex on Mirana is very close. The Refresher on the Tide is there. Those are luxury items, whereas Navi, because they're behind, they still need their core items, so their fights are going to become much tougher. But they're going in again. Now there's no Ravage. 40 seconds, if they find the right engagement, they could win it this time. But look at that unfortunate thing. They get too close to the creep wave, and Laurel with a sleight of fist, because it counts like your hero is on the creep that he is hitting, it does break the smoke on the storm, which he's the most important one. You want to jump in first with him and kill somebody.
Yeah, the Drow Ranger is going to pick up a double damage rune as well as this Witch Bane, though. So the Storm Spirit, if he's not careful, Melduel's just going to disappear to Yatoro.
Yep.
And we'll see the Infesteds there onto Melduel. So maybe looking to try and force a rotation in, maybe try and force an engagement and then get that jump. But for the minute, Team Spirit, they're just delaying. Like you say, they're waiting for that Ravage to be back up, which it will now be. So they're going to have the 2 Ravages, the 2 Tendrils of the Deeps coming through for the Tidehunter. And if they win this fight, they're going to be, taking another lane of racks. Hell, they could even go for Megas if they wanted to, because there is no tier 2 tower standing here on the map for Navi.
DD Drow needs two seconds of hitting to win this fight. Let's see if it's going to be given to him.
Malady just disappears in one right click there as well. He had a sliver of health left, and after that comes out, he's going to die. And the follow-up, are they going to go for even more? Team Spirit, they've taken down both supports once again, and now it's their turn to force something out. Lol, yeah, right on top of Malik, and Malik, can he get himself away? He's forced to use his refresh. Gonna go for that BKB. Malik, can he get himself away from this one? He is just going to have to walk himself out.
They found Collapse.
While that's going on though, yes, Shigetsu, again, there's nothing to go through the Rage TP, so he will be able to get himself out of this one, the TP away from Navi. They get themselves out of it, and they don't lose anything extra from that. Yeah, okay, Beastmaster has to use his refresher in the second BKB charge, but they didn't lose any cores.
The second that fight started, Yatoro was allowed to get hits onto the supports. It was over, right? Those supports are dead. He 1-2 shots them. That's it. And at that point, Navi, the only thing they can do is run, because at least they need their supports, if not to use their spells properly, to be this meat shield for Navi after they have killed one hero, to continue the fight for a little bit longer, maybe wait for the second rage. If you've already lost 2 heroes before the fight even started, your chances of winning are non-existent.
No, and we'll see. I mean, how do you even deal with the Drow Ranger at this point? We were talking about the lifesteal getting on top of him to lock down. Can you?
I mean, that's what your lineup is built to do. That you go for it. If you can't, you're gonna lose the fight, and you might just as well call GG. If you find the perfect initiation, do everything right, and Drow doesn't die, that is the time when you just call GG because you have lost the game.
Yeah, I'm thinking for the side of Na'Vi. I mean, they are going to see the Roche respawn. The Moonlight Shadow's going to come through as well with the smoke on the side of Team Spirit. Malady, where the smoke was there, so not going to be seen by the rocket flare. But the big wraparound
Nice
comes
angle.
through. Do they find Malik? Malik's smoke's going to break. The warning comes out. Dust is going to be popped, but they're going to be able to jump themselves right on top of Malady once again. And it looks like Malady, he's going to go down again. The Gush and Miposhka is the one to get that kill. And it does again. Oh, he does have the buyback. But it does open up Spirit a little window to get themselves inside Roche and potentially take it here.
It's a perfect hero to kill, to be honest. I don't know why they're not giving the Enchantress away, because her life is less important than the Clock in terms of contesting the Roche. Right now he has to buy back next time the Clockwork dies, the Roche is just gone.
Yeah, and we'll see. I suppose as the lifestealer, no, he's still got the bash. You go and build towards the Abyssal Blade, but it's not there just yet. I was just saying, you know, I could see if they get on top of the draw with the Abyssal from the lifestealer, he does have the potential to get the lockdown, especially, you know, coming through with the Mindbreaker as well. So extra attack speed there as well. You get that silence to jump on. So even through the rage, you know, if you silence, not going to be gusted away. But for the minute, lifesteal is still a what's that? A decent amount of gold still away from being able to pick up onto it. In fact, no, he might actually have it in the next, what's that, 500, 600 gold?
Yeah, he's close. The thing is, does he value it more over the buyback, especially now when they've lost the Roche, right? It's a tough one for Navi, but I think their way to kill the Drow isn't with the Abyssal Blade. It's pull from the Storm because it doesn't break the Lincolns. He has an Aghanim Scepter, and is the Clockwork Hookshot Cogs pushback. I think that's what you have to do, because these targeted spells are not going to work. I mean, let's be honest, Laurel, he's putting his Lincolns onto the Drow. The problem right now lies, we talked about those luxury items, 2 hexes, double Ravage on Team Spirit, and now they also have the cheese as well. So I'm looking at Navi, and their chances of winning fights right now are very minuscule.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at it and thinking, you know, like you say, with this Aegis coming through now, they got a... Was it an Aghanim's Blessing, or was it the Refresher Shard on the... It was a Refresher Shard. Yeah. So Ember Spirit, he's going to be coming in. He's got the Aghanims of his own. He's even got his Shard out now as well. So with this Refresher Shard, you're going to be throwing out so many remnants. You get yourself so active around the map. You know, the double hex to come through there as well. Spirit, with all of this control, all of this damage, I think we're hitting last chance saloon here for Navi, and I really don't know how they fight into this one. In fact, they've got the lockdown once again, the Clockwork, he's going to get low, he's going to go down, the Ravage comes out, but they might be able to get the kill onto the Undying. Can they go for even more here? Because that's going to be the BKB here for Shigetsu. So he did buy that out before he went for the Abyssal Blade on the Lifestealer.
What a positioning blunder by the supports of Spirit. That was huge that they had 2 of them die, but let's see now, Spirit are re-engaging.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the kill onto Daniel. Daniel goes down, he does have that buyback available, and they don't even pop the Aegis onto Yatoro. So Yatoro, he's just going to be able to sit, hit buildings, and then come right back in if he wants to.
Let's see, he is like half HP, a little bit more than that one. And, they just wanted the buyback. The thing that happened there, Spirit, they could have taken the Raxes easily, but Miposhka and Mira, they just stay in enemy vision, and the Storm gets on them, he grabs them, and they kill them easily. I really like that the Storm finally bought his Aghanim Shard, because it definitely increases the damage output of both the Storm and the Lifestealer once they jump in. So I'm surprised. Spirit there, they definitely could have ended the game, but yeah, mistakes do happen.
Yeah, I mean, they're still way in control of this. You look 18 to 39 and 19k net worth lead. You know, they can afford to be a little bit sloppy here. Not very sloppy, but just a touch sloppy coming into trying to take the buildings. And again, they take a second range rack, so these side lanes are going to push in. It's going to be so hard for Navi, even if they do win a fight, to push out of the base. And the dive comes in, they get the drive back onto the Ember. Do they have enough damage to take him down? No, go though.
Should.
They get the kill. Yeah, Lol's going to go down, but again,
Let's have a buyback.
Yatoro with the damage, he takes down Malady. Malady, no buyback here as well. And yeah, this Ember Spirit, he actually doesn't have the gold for it. How far is he? He's about 1,800 gold away from the buyback. So they get the lockdown. Do they take down the Drow Ranger? Well, I said a little bit sloppy here, Team Spirit. Not a whole lot sloppy, as the dive comes in from Collapse. Collapse, though, does he go down here? They do have a lot of damage onto Yatoro. Yeah, like you say, he has that Aegis. Ooh, Mira, though. Mira doesn't have an Aegis. He's going to be looking at the
Big one.
Vortex to drag back in, but the Ravage will be there. Do they have the damage to lifesteal? He's going to be locked down. He might even be killed off the Manta style, trying to dodge off that damage. He's looking for any lifesteal he can, but he's not going to be able to find it. He does have that buyback, but
Hello,
everybody
Rampage.
else on the side of Navi, they are going to be going down. And yeah, Yatoro with that Rampage. Can he go for even more here now as well? The buyback from the lifestealer, but you are fighting into 4 heroes on the side of Spirit.
Big jump from the Storm Spirit there when Yatoro went down, but I liked it. I feel like Team Spirit maybe baited that one out because they got a couple of heroes closer to Yatoro and pulled out their Tidehunter, knowing he's gonna survive long enough for the Tide to come in and use the Ravage. Because yeah, your initiation was big, Navi, but that Ravage into a Meteor Hammer, it was bigger. And Yatoro, he just gets a couple of seconds to attack and he gets a Rampage easy.
Yeah, and now with the the balance being 3 to 4 in terms of heroes, Yatoro being fresh here after the Aegis gets popped, still got the Lincolns, he's still got all of it, oh, the hookshot on the back lines. Oh, the blink away. Yatoro though, did he get the dive in? The buyback comes in from Storm. He's gonna be hexed up, can't use that BKB, and he just gets absolutely deleted before the hex wears off. Couldn't use his BKB at all. I think this is just gonna be game for Team Spirit, taking game number 1, as I really don't know how Navi would even plan to defend this.
You know, there at the end of the Oshigetsu will live, but you know, at the end of the game, how there is a stat, death timer. Well, if there was a stat how long the Storm was alive after he bought back, it's less than a second. He just jumps in and immediately dies.
Yeah, and I'm surprised he didn't use the BKB, like, pre-ball lightning, or, I suppose it's a long time to actually ball lightning in, but yeah, just not having that window to get it off, and the quick fingers on the Hex, it cost him his life. Team Spirit, they close out game number 1, and really, Navi, they had a good start, Daniel picking up a load of kills, getting themselves into this game. But with the pressure that the Ember, you talked about it, the pressure that the Ember was putting onto Meljul in that early game, just getting solo kills and being able to put it on, and no rotations coming to help out the Storm Spirit. Navi never really looked like they were going to help recover on that Storm. And in the end, Lal, he got, 16, 2, and 17 in terms of kills, and Meljul 3, 9, and 6. So Meljul never really able to build the momentum to get back into it.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that needed to be strong from minute 15 to minute 25, and he was the last in terms of net worth out of all the cores at that point. I also like that you pointed out Daniel at one point, because he was doing a ton of damage in that last fight. The problem, of course, is that he didn't have all that many items. Why is that the case? Because he died 17 times. We talked about it at the start of the draft, where you have to have ways to deal with the Enchantress. When you pick an Enchantress early against a team like Team Spirit, they're gonna have so many things to deal with. You Tide, good against you. Anchor Smash doesn't care about the untouchable. Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist Chains, doesn't care about the untouchable. Arrow setups, Star Storms, and of course Drought Ranger has the multi-shot. So many ways to kill you. And Daniel, he did his job going forward. Malady did his job protecting his cores, but they died way too many times without their cores getting strong enough to fight Team Spirit. And I mean, the result was obvious there at the end. Even when Team Spirit get caught out of position, even if they mess up their positioning, they still have the net worth advantage to just rip through Navi, who at that point don't have enough damage, or didn't really have enough damage for the majority of the game.
Yeah, there was glimpses, good jumps coming in from Shigetsu inside Meljul with the Infest, being able to get in. But it seemed like every time they made a jump, the target was collapse. And every time, well, not every time, there were, he died 4 times, but for the majority of the time, once he dove onto collapse, he had those greaves available. There were 4 staffs coming out as well to get him outside of the cogs once the hookshot came in, and it just seemed like that every time Navi made a jump, it was Tidehunter that he was kind of this jump magnet, able to survive, and all of a sudden Team Spirit were able to turn this fight around, and Navi, maybe if they'd have found a different target, get themselves on top of Lal, get themselves on top of Yutaro, they might have found a better team fight, better kills, and able to work themselves back into this game. But Team Spirit, you talked about in the game, Maposhka was some great positioning in the mid game, just playing the bodyguard to Yatoro, and Collapse in these fights. Every time the fight broke out, Collapse was in the front, soaking up all the hate, and then Team Spirit were able to turn it around and put the hate back onto Navi, put a whole lot of damage back onto them, and they just couldn't stand up to it.
Yeah, even with Collapse being, somewhat squishy in this game, whenever they jumped him, they barely lived for like 3-4 seconds, and you're a Tide. They only killed him 4 times, and that's kind of a showing that Navi, they didn't feel confident going for kills, and even when they did, they would usually be met with supports. You mentioned Miposhka's good positioning. Well, he did tank a lot of ganks, but unlike Maldi and Danielle, well, he died only 9 times compared to the 16 and 17 on these two. So overall, Team Spirit, they played a relatively clean game. There were some positioning mistakes there towards the end, but other than that, they knew exactly what they were doing, and obviously coming in as the favorites, that's gonna get you a victory.
Yeah, just reading the stats before we go to a break. Collapse took 60 raw damage before reduction, 63,000 damage there. And Miposhka took 42,000 damage. You look at Mira, Lal, Yatoro didn't even go above 35 on Lal. That was the highest there. So yeah, Miposhka and Collapse, these two big frontline tanky heroes doing the job into this. So Team Spirit with a great game number 1, but Navi, they could look to pull it back in game number 2. They have a bit of work to do. I mean, Team Spirit looking incredibly in control here. So we'll find out in game number 2 if Navi are going to be able to take it, force it to a 3-game series, or if Team Spirit are going to take it in 2. But first, guys, here's the break.